How's it going, YouTube? Happy Tuesday to you. And a gray, kind of dreary, but thankfully not too chilly Tuesday it is here in Chicagoland. As I get my short week kicked off here with a run eastward. And if you have been on the road at all the last little bit here, you have already seen that diesel prices suck. Oh, do they suck. Diesel prices suck. But for the time being, that is the way the cookie is crumbling until either sensible energy policy emerges from Washington, D.C., or things in the spicier parts of the world decide to calm down long enough for the prices of crude to come down, and then also probably for the different refineries and whoever else to fill up storage wells and storage tanks and storage fields and whatever else with that lovely material that becomes our go-go juice. Prices are likely to remain in a general pattern of suck until those magical days or things actually happen. We can't count on sensible policy from Washington, D.C. Not anytime soon, at least. It doesn't matter which side of the aisle you subscribe to or fall on. It's just sensible policy right now is just not going to be there. So it comes down to us to try to be as sensible about the policy we have to deal with on the back end, because we're the ones who actually have to pay the bills, as opposed to our benevolent overlords, benefactors, and/or whatever term you choose to refer to them, politicians in Washington, District of Columbia. Bit of history just for funsies, because everyone loves to blame whoever is currently in the White House for everyone's problems, and in some cases that is legitimate and true and factual. Other cases that is very much not the case at all. Turn in your Wayback Machine to the bygone days of 2014 to 2016, and at that time, a little bit further back, 2011 I think it was to 2013, and a brand-ish new way of extracting crude oil, or oil, maybe not crude oil, but oil, had emerged, called fracking, hydraulic fracking, which is a way to get oil from rock faces and rock formations or geological formations that previously was not recoverable, but hydraulic fracking made that possible. And as a result, energy production industries in the United States and Canada literally exploded overnight, and it was one of the most sought after jobs as the world came out of the Great Recession of 2007-2008 that, of course, affected everything all the way up through 2010, 2011, 2012, because those are some of the highest paying jobs available, and so that industry exploded. Now, migrate yourself over to the Middle East, specifically Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia. In their infinite wisdom, the Saudis, sensing the emergent competition from American fracking and Canadian fracking, they opened up their taps to full blast. They pumped out so much oil over the course of, I don't know how many months it was, or even it had to be anywhere from 6 months to a couple of years. They just pumped and pumped and pumped and pumped oil until the entire planet had a literal glut of oil. Like, it was so much oil in tankers and in storage fields in different parts of the world that there was gargantuan waiting periods to get tankers offloaded at the different ports in the Gulf of Mexico, and I believe also on both the east and the west coasts of the United States, and I'm sure a lot of places in the world as well. The result of that is when the election of 2016 had been called and the dust was beginning to settle, the price of a gallon of gasoline was back down to basically around 2000 to 2003 prices. We're talking anywhere from, I think, as low as like 125 in some areas. I think I saw it for somewhere like 130, 135 if I remember correctly, maybe even down to around 120 something or other. And then I forget what the price of diesel was, but because we had that glut of oil, the prices were, they cratered. But the Saudis achieved their goal, which was to temporarily crush emergent U.S. energy independence. At least that's the way I look at it. That's not to say I'm correct. That's the way I look at it. And ensure that the Middle East and OPEC as a whole retained their global monopoly over the prices of oil. So when Donald Trump was sworn in January 2017, the price for a gallon of gas, was around $1.50 a gallon average nationwide, if I remember correctly. Fast forward to October 2021, a little over 4.5 years after that, and I just had to pay $3.74 a gallon for diesel in Chicagoland, and I'm headed east, and I know Pennsylvania and New York State are even worse. They're probably close to, like, maybe they're the 390s, almost a guarantee. And I would not at all be surprised to see the big chain truck stops retailing fuel for over $4 a gallon before any idea of a discount. Mom and pop shops might be still under $4 a gallon, but the way it's looking, $4 diesel is coming soon nationwide, and it's going to suck when it gets here. I hope it doesn't stay long, but that's going to depend entirely on how energy policy shakes out and whether or not holiday demand tapers off enough that prices can be controlled. But considering the massive explosions in online retail as a result of the pandemic, pretty confident that it's going to be a pretty darn good winter and holiday season for truck drivers, at least the companies and owner-operators who will have opportunities to get a piece of that online retail market. At least I hope that's going to be the case. It's going to be a good holiday season for us. But the other side of that coin is that really calls into question future planning for companies as well as owner-operators, because the truck I'm driving now is a 2017 Kenworth T680. Phenomenal truck. I really do like this truck a lot. I'm glad I bought it. It's been an absolutely dynamite performer for me for about 11 months now. Haven't quite had it, 10 months. Haven't quite had it for a year yet. Haven't quite been an owner-operator for a year yet. But it's a very efficiently operating truck. It's got the power where I need it. It does very well in open terrain, whether I'm lightly loaded or heavily loaded. Yeah, it does. I like it to be a little more efficient in the mountains, but when you're heavy in the mountains, well, it is what it is. That's just how it is. But Kenworth has opened up their own quasi little shooting war with Freightliner, because when the new Cascadia came out for the 2018-2019 model year, it was a radical redesign of that truck, and in my opinion, that is one of the most beautiful aero trucks or fleet trim aero trucks on on the road today. They are gorgeous trucks. I drove one for Werner Enterprises for about 14 months. Dynamite trucks. Just great trucks. I mean, I wish the interior had a couple little things different, but, you know, when I was looking to buy my first truck last December, 2020, I was looking between essentially the T680 and the new Cascadia. I couldn't find a new Cascadia that was going to fit my requirements, and honestly, I did kind of want to go back to a Kenworth just because I was thinking ahead at that time about you know, at some point looking at a Kenworth W900 or W990 long hood, or you know, long nose, however you want to refer to them. Because why not? If you're an over-the-road truck driver or you're an owner-operator, at some point you got to think, just at least for the fun of it, you know, how cool would it be to own like the quintessential classic American style of truck, which is the long hood, you know, twin stack up the back, you know, big monster, you know, hulking American semi-truck. And I'm thinking about it, but at the same time, you know, fuel economy and fuel prices being what they are and what they are likely to be in the next few years, you know, I really had to think very carefully, would it be better for me to go back to Freightliner and get a new Cascadia with a much more aerodynamic body, or would it be better for me to pursue the opportunity, should one avail itself, to purchase a Kenworth T680 next generation semi-truck for my next rig? Or, you know, do I need to just keep doing my homework and seeing if the long hoods will achieve similar fuel economy, or at least not too dissimilar fuel economy to the aero trucks? Because, I mean, you hear about guys who are getting, you know, 7, 8, 9 miles to the gallon with long hoods. And I'm not going to dispute those numbers in any capacity because I'm not there. I can't see how they're running, how heavy they are, where they're running at as well. But I won't dispute it's possible. I mean, I'm sure if you drive it right, drive it carefully, if you have the right engine transmission combination, you can get over 7 miles to the gallon in a long hood while moderately to heavily loaded without question. I really wish the guy ahead of me would speed up so I wouldn't be crawling with his tailpipes here. But, you know, it is what it is. But diesel prices are going to suck for a while longer unless energy policy changes. And that's going to inform decision making for a lot of folks, because the mega carriers are already, you know, they're placing block and volume orders for the new generation aero trucks. I'm sure Freightliner's got the next upgrade to to their Cascadia coming at some point soon, or what's going to replace the Cascadia entirely, which it'll probably be even sexier than it currently is. PACCAR came to the table with revamped T680s, like the T680 Next Gen, and also the Peterbilt 579. Made those trucks a bit more sleek and streamlined, so that if you have the full aero package on them, you are allegedly, or so PACCAR claims, you will get 4 to 6% improved fuel economy versus the, you know, current generation T680s and 579s. You know, 4 to 6% on one load of fuel, big deal. 4 to 6% in a 12-month period, very big deal. I mean, because a lot of owner-operators are spending $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $80,000 in fuel, depending on how they're working, how heavily they're running every year. You knock 4 to 6% per year off of your fuel expense, you know, that's 4 to 6% more money now in your pocket. Yeah, you got to pay taxes on it, but still, that's 4 to 6% more money back in your pocket. You know, that's a big deal, especially, you know, the way things are likely to be going with new standards for emissions and everything else until potentially the greenies have their way and, you know, it's all electric everything everywhere, which in my opinion is going to be stupid, but, you know, to each their own on that one. We still have really no idea just how effective the electric everything logistics economy is going to work. It could be amazing. It could be a time out waiting to blow up in everyone's face. We literally will not know until we know. But until then, diesel prices still suck. We just got to deal with them, and it is what it is. So I guess the only thing we can try to do is either A, run more efficiently, or B, just accept the fact that we're going to, if you don't want to run more efficiently, you're writing off more every quarter onto your fuel expense, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, folks, that's all I wanted to yammer about today. Hope you're all having a great Tuesday. Hope your week's getting off to a great start. And with that being said, we'll see you down the road.